Before Tuesday, it was hard for Donald Trump to find a friend in Washington, even in his own party.
Why won't you talk about Mr. Trump?
Because I choose not to.
But now President Trump is moving in down the street from Speaker Paul Ryan and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. On Wednesday, they started to come around.
I think what Donald Trump just pulled off is an enormous political feat. It's an enormous feat in that he heard those voices that were out there that other people weren't hearing, and he just earned a mandate.
The American people have spoken.
Republican leaders were also privately surprised their vulnerable Senate incumbents hung on across the map, winning at least a 51-seat majority.
God bless all of you, and God bless Florida. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And expected to win a 47-seat majority in the House as well. With control of both the White House and Congress, Republicans have a chance to shred President Obama's signature health care law.
This health care law is collapsing under its own weight. Now we have President Trump coming, who is asking us to do this. So with unified Republican government, we can fix this.
Still, Republicans need 60 votes in the Senate to pass controversial legislation.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Which means they'll have to work with Democrats. Another question? Whether some Republicans might refuse to vote with Trump on parts of his agenda. Nebraska Senator Ben Sasse once called Trump's campaign a dumpster fire. And then there's Senator Lindsey Graham.
He's becoming a jackass at a time when we need to have a serious debate about the future of the party and the country.
Graham telling NBC News late Tuesday night he was shocked by Trump's win, but now is willing to at least try to find some common ground. As that shock wears off, Democrats are grappling with whether or not they're going to be able to work with Donald Trump. Nancy Pelosi talking to Trump today about whether they could work together to build roads and bridges. And progressives like Elizabeth Warren and now tonight Bernie Sanders talking about potentially working with him to help working class families. Lester?
Casey Hunt tonight, thank you.